Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to share these books with you. I'm going to be sharing some small town romance recommendations that are all clean. There is some Christian fiction mixed in with secular fiction in this video, but all of the books are clean. And I, in particular, really like small town romances just because they just allow for like a lot of good character building because you get to know this town, you get to know the characters in the town, and it just overall makes the setting like really appealing, and it just makes the whole romance really fun to read. So I enjoy small town romances, and I have read quite a few. These are the best ones that I have read that I would recommend, and I can't wait to share them with you. So let's get started. I'll start with all of the Christian recommendations first. So number one is Memory Lane by Becky Wade. This is set kind of on a small island as well. You do leave the island at some points, but a lot of the book is also on this island. So that was really fun because it was kind of an isolated setting. And basically you follow this girl who lives on the island, and she is looking out her window one day and she sees like a body in the water of the ocean. And so she runs out to save it. She does have a boat. So she saves this guy, and she doesn't know who he is, but she lets him stay in her house and she takes care of him. And he wakes up without any memories. So he doesn't know what his name is, who he is, how he got there. He can speak, but like, that's it. He has no memories other than that. So she has to kind of help him recover those memories. And she has her own like history and trauma that she's dealing with. And they really come together and just become friends, but then also kind of each other's like support. He does slowly recover, and you get to know a lot about his history and his family, and it was just really fun. This is light Christian, so it's definitely fully clean, and there's like a little bit of faith in there, but I wouldn't say that it like is consistently faith-filled throughout the whole story. So I'm sure multiple people would like this book just because if you don't like faith-heavy books, this one isn't faith-heavy. So yeah, but I still really enjoyed it, and this is the start of a series or trilogy. Not sure how many books will be in it, but next, a really good series is the Deep Haven series by Susan May Warren. This is called My Foolish Heart. This is book 4, I think, in the series. You can pretty much read the series out of order. They all follow different couples, and there's some crossover, but there isn't like kind of a consistent plot that's running through the whole series. So you can read it all out of order. And there are a couple of books that I haven't finished in the Deep Haven series, but this is my favorite book in that series by far. This is such a good romance. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I have shared about it quite a bit in the past, but just highly recommend it if you haven't read it yet. This follows a small town of Deep Haven, and this new guy moves in, and he is hoping to become the new football coach, but he has a little secret that he's keeping from the town, so you figure that out, and then he ends up moving indoor next to the daughter of the old football coach, and she has a lot of trauma and PTSD from a car accident that she was in, and she's dealing with that. She has agoraphobia and just a lot of issues with anxiety, and they become friends, and it's just, their relationship was so good to read about, and yet their own personal journeys of faith were so strong as well. There's a lot of faith in this book, and it's really good. So yeah, and overall I really loved the small town setting as well. It just kind of made it, again, that like kind of cozier, close-knit story so that you get to know the characters, and that's what I love. So okay, another really good one is A Broken Kind of Beautiful by Katie Ganshert. This is also set in a small town, and you follow this model who has to move back to her small town because she's running out of modeling gigs because she's getting older. She's only 26, but she is getting older for the modeling world, and her aunt is doing like a wedding dress show, and so this girl is gonna go in there, but it's in the small town, and then the photographer of this wedding dress thing is the love interest for this girl. And I just loved everything about this book. Really strong message of faith of how like your identity is not in your looks or what people think of you, it's in Jesus. And overall really solid, highly recommend. Once again, an amazing small town romance, My Hope Next Door, Tammy Gray. I love this book so much. And yes, it is set in a small town, and you follow this girl who moves back to her small town because her parents need her help, and her parents live next door to the son of the pastor of the town. And so the two of them have a friendship and a romance. And when I say that this is so good, like, everyone needs to read this book. It's really good. The faith is the best part of this book, but the romance, top tier, amazing. So those are all the books that I own. So continuing though, I would also recommend Beach Haven by T.I. Lowe. So this is a little trilogy and it is set in a small Carolina town, and it's like a 3-star trilogy for me. I didn't love the books, but the small town setting was really fun to read about, and the romances were kind of where I was like not super on board, but like the characters were really fun to read about. So basically you follow this trio of friends. It's 3 girls, and each book is about one of their romances. So in Beach Haven, this girl owns kind of like an antique shop where she like refurbishes old items and resells them. And there is I think a hurricane or a tornado, one of those, and it like destroys her shop. So she hires this guy to help her fix it up, and he is the love interest. This is also like a Grumpy Sunshine, enemies to lovers kind of, more so Grumpy Sunshine trope. So if you like that, this is definitely that as well. And I would recommend it. If you like small town, beachy kind of books, this is one of those. Another beachy small town book is A Novel Proposal by Denise Hunter. And this is where we get more into secular, because like I don't even remember there being any faith in this book. There might have been just a touch, but like even less than Memory Lane had. Like this book, it doesn't stand out at all. So I feel like anyone could read this and there would be no faith in it. But really cute small town though. Like she's this girl, you follow her, she's in this beach town. She's in a duplex. So there's a guy on one half of the duplex and then she's on the other one, and she has to write a book. She has to write a romance book and she doesn't know how. So she's trying to figure that out. And then this guy is like just trying to lay low, recover from stuff in his past, and you just follow them kind of working on some things together, and it was really good. I'd highly recommend this book. It was funny and just like very engaging, so it was good. Okay, I'd also recommend Smokescreen by Terri Blackstock. So this book had really strong faith in it, and that's really what stood out. And it felt small townish to me. The town wasn't like a main part of the book. It was definitely the romance and the mystery. But basically you follow this mom who, she is divorced, she has 2 kids, and she is really struggling with alcohol. So you do follow that journey with her. And then she has kind of an old friend who comes back to town, and he reconnects with her and sees that she needs help. And so he tries to like help her with her life basically. But then there's also like arson going on. Someone is catching things on fire, and so they're dealing with that too, and they're trying to figure out who's doing that, because this guy is a firefighter. And just overall, the faith plus the romance together was so good, and it felt small townish to me because, like, again, the setting was small because it was mainly focused on these characters. You're in the woman's house like a lot of the time. She's not really out and about. Like it's more so, yeah, like a smaller setting. So highly recommend. Okay, another small town romance is A Life Once Dreamed by Rachel Fordham. This is set in a small town. This is historical though. So this girl is a teacher in her little town. There's lots of things going on. So first of all, there is like a rule that she has to stay single to be able to be the teacher, but she's like also the most eligible bachelorette in the town. So a lot of guys want to be with her, but she's like, no, I want to be a teacher. This is my life. Like, I don't want to get married. But then she ends up rescuing this baby, and so she wants to keep it. She can't because she has to work, and so who's going to take care of the baby? And then the town is saying that, well, you have to get married if you're gonna have a baby. And so she's trying to figure that out. She does have a friend in this town who has kind of like been there for her, and they do have a romance, but it was definitely more about this small town and this girl trying to figure out how to make this work with her life, because she cares so much for this baby, but she loves her job, and it's kind of like, what does she do? And it was a really good story. Highly recommend it. Good faith in this one as well, so it's good. Very similar storyline is The Lady's Mind by Francine Rivers, except this girl runs a newspaper rather than a school. And she moves to this small town. The whole town is like, just get married and don't work, like enough is enough. But she's like, no, I care about making good news and good newspapers, so I don't want to get married. Like, I'm here to like work and figure out my life. And then there's a guy who like owns a lot of the town and owns like the hotel and stuff, and he wants to kind of take care of her. He's kind of like a mayor of the town, but not. And there is a romance between them. But this small little settlement town is just like it was really fun to read about just because of the characters that were in it. Like, I find the characters really make the setting special. So, okay, I feel like I flew through those, but they're so good. Highly recommend all of these books. I'll write them all down below. Basically, these are all Christian books, so enjoy. They're great. And yeah, if you guys have any small town romances that you want to recommend, please make sure they're clean, but otherwise write them in the comments and we will add them to our lists and hopefully read all of them and enjoy them. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.